Hello everyone, it is the me, GamePenguin21, and today, well, okay, after taking a few days off from my 2-day-a-week upload schedule, I've decided I'm going to take this a little bit slower, and I'm going to try to release videos more frequently in this context. The reason why I took a week off, or I took the second day of the week of that thing off, was because some real-life stuff happened, and I had to deal with it in my own special way. That's why I've been doing nothing but posting shorts and doing streams and stuff, twitch.tv/GamePenguin21, and of course there's the shorts on this video and stuff like that. But, again, I've had to readjust certain aspects of what I've been doing, and it just, to me, in the end, has not been easy of a transition, but I'm getting through it, and I'm working on myself a little bit, so videos might tend to slow down. I had one that was completely edited and recorded, and I was going to go up today, but I ended up deciding to just not put it up because I sounded very depressed. I'm still probably going to put it up eventually, maybe, because I put a lot of work and effort into the video, so I'm sorry if I'm doing some lying and stuff, but at the end of the day, I think that this video is going to be far more positive, far more enjoyable, far more ready for people out there. So again, shorter video, but I wanted to get that out of the way of a little update on life things and stuff. So don't expect me to keep the same schedule. I'll still try to upload at least every Tuesday. If not, you can expect a video more or less sometime every day, as for shorts, every day so far. But as for mainline channel stuff, for the stuff that a lot of you guys tend to come for, some of you guys tend to come for, expect those to become a bit more frequent because there's a lot of stuff to cover, and I feel reinvigorated after taking the week off and really getting to deal with the pre-editioned emotions that have been happening so far. Anyway, let's get to the point of this video because it's going to be short and sweet, so let's get to it. So, recently, it was reported that Final Fantasy XIV, the online stuff, was going to be coming out to the Xbox, and the reason why it didn't come out originally in the actual context for it was because of the fact that Xbox didn't allow crossplay. Now, I originally saw this when the Red Dragon and other people started to tweet it. I don't have the tweet with me, unfortunately, as it got lost in my feed somewhere. I should probably go back and just talk about it, or just show you the clip or in the background as to what it is. Essentially, this clip is from 2012, 2013-ish, when this originally was released, and it was because of Microsoft's quote-unquote policy that they wasn't allowed to be released because they wanted it to have crossplay. This was the time when crossplay was more of a bigger thing with PlayStation than it was with Sony. To anyone who actually knows the history of this, you'll understand why, because Xbox 360 was on top and they didn't have crossplay and stuff. And I think that I kind of agreed with that in some context, but at the same time I didn't because I wanted people to be with it. I've always agreed with the person who was like, more games for more people. And again, this is 10 years ago. 10 years ago. If you're citing IGN, which is already unreliable, from 10 years ago, where there's been an entire another generation within those 10 years, and Microsoft got their ass fucking blasted in that generation and completely pivoted to try and, be more consumer and person friendly to change their policies and shit. Don't you think that citing a 10-year-old fucking document for, say, anything is worth it? Like, no. If this was a test, if this was an essay, that give me more relevant stuff. So, yeah. But we start off with, of course, with Mr. S-Class Gamer himself, King Thrash. IGN reported he's retweeting a tweet from Ryan McAfee saying, does whenever possible translate to whenever Sony doesn't pay us to keep our games off Xbox? And then he lists an IGN article from them. And then he also then shoots back of IGN reporter, Xbox fan, didn't know Microsoft rejected Final Fantasy XIV in the beginning of the last generation because they didn't want crossplay. They said policy reasons. Sony did want crossplay, ironically, so it was on PS4. But hey, I'm just some guy who knows more about gaming than this reporter. And, I mean, I know more about gaming than you, Mr. King Thrash. I'm actually the one who researched the entirety of the gaming history and the history of the gaming market. And I've been able to actually track why this whole console war even started. It can originally be tracked down to, it was more or less at the time, marketed to more of a family-style one. And then when the gaming market crashed in the 1980s, then Nintendo decided to come in, and they decided to revamp this whole market. Eventually, when Sega started to come in and they had some competition, they did things such as Sega does what Nintendo doesn't. So you can track all of your stuff back to the 80s in the sense of that's why the console war fucking exists, is because of marketing. And you are going into a nearly, like, I want to say 80, no, not 80, like 30 to 40-year-old marketing trick that is still being used, at least by Sony to this day. But we continue. Next up, we got Hyped, saying one fan base is gearing up to play the biggest game release of the year, while the other is excited about a PS3 game getting announced for their console. Oh no, current news and, stuff like that. When is this game getting released again? Isn't it like in several months from now or something like that? I'm drinking Sunny D, by the way. But isn't there like... So, yeah, okay, so that one's coming out August. So, but isn't that coming out like in November or sometime later? Like, okay. So you're both gearing up for the release of games. Plus, Starfield's also coming out at that time as well. So it's like they're drip feeding what is your point here? Like, I don't get it. So because you're excited for a sequel of a game that's going to be coming out to your console, rather than be able to go back and play some old games that you enjoyed back in the day, that's what the Next up, we have someone throwing out a screenshot of welcoming Final Fantasy to Xbox, and basically, I love this because this is so fucking hilarious. He says, tell me you need to touch some grace and find some maidens without telling me you need to touch some grace and find some maidens. Where he then goes on and says, this is a complete betrayal to the Japanese community. Probably will turn their backs on Square for this. Fucking why? Fucking why? Why? All of the Final Fantasy games have been sort of this sort of stuff. What the hell? This is disrespectful to the PlayStation community, and will nuke sales of the game. We don't want this. It will nuke sales of a game from like 10 plus years ago. Are you fucking me in the ass right now? How are you this ill-informed? This is what I never understood about anything PlayStation fanboys or anything of that nature. You're telling me that putting your product in front of more fucking people in the gaming space, right? In a market that you are in the market you are in, putting your product in front of more faces and giving it more advertising and stuff like that will tank sales. That's not how this fucking works. Are you a dumbass? Oh, what is my credentials on knowing this? I've not only taken business classes, I have a degree in graphic design with a specialization in marketing, sir. I've taken enough marketing courses to know that marketing helps, and this will only help the numbers go up because you have more of an audience that you are participating to. It's on another platform / storefront to be able to be bought from. And again, it's receiving a lot of media hype and attention. How does this not click in your brain that it will not tank fucking sales of a game that has already been sold and stuff? It will actually revitalize sales in a lot of context. What the fuck? PlayStation fanboys say Squares are traitors and have sold out. Yeah, this is another one where it's like, traitors! So sad how easily they sold out. Yes, a 10-year-old game coming to the newest generation console for adding crossplay and stuff like that. Yes, 100% they sold out. What the fuck? Next up, we've got PlayStation fanboys are like a cult. Meanwhile, Xbox... That's just the definition of fucking irony right there. Jeez, Unleashed. Don't throw stones in your glass house when I can easily pull up your entire fucking Twitter history and easily go through and just list off all of the reasons why you're in this fucking cult. Xbots be like, oh yeah, it's another one. This one is retweeted by Frit, by the way. I wanted to just include this one because Frit got it. This is the best. I could not come up with a better joke than this. It's where it's like Xbots be like fanboys when a game comes from 2013. Yeah, because it makes you fucking angry. Also, Wofo, that was when ponies with The Last of Us remake. Hell, you guys have been the entire generation. Yeah, exactly. Like, I've completely forgotten about The Last of Us remake. The Last of Us has been remade 4 times, by the way. The original Last of Us, not The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 hasn't received a remake and only received a PC port. But The Last of Us 1 got a remake about, like, 2 or 3 years after the fact when they wanted it to come to a new console. You had to buy an entirely new game to get, like, a graphical upgrade for, like, the new console, if I remember correctly. Wild. I don't have anything to say. Just, it's a good joke. Motherfucker, Frit. Please notice me. Please give me a shout out on your channel. Please give me. Next up, we got MBG. Sony trying to decide if they should pull the trigger to acquire Square Enix. Oh, boy. And then MBG wants Sony PlayStation to acquire Square Enix because Final Fantasy XIV coming to the Xbox Series X and S consoles. This is bonkers. Again, this is Mr. stealing games from my fucking console guy here, MBG. God damn it. Just say that you are a Sony fanboy because you just appreciate how... Because you just are a fucking dumbass and don't realize how much anti-consumer practices are coming here. Next up. Ah, yes, good old Dreamcast guy. It's time for Phil Spencer to go. This was done a few months ago. Actually, no, that tweet's... No, that's this year. Where he says, Phil Spencer has been working very hard to make 2 mega acquisitions in 3 years. Correct. Fix the relationship with Square Enix. That's also really good. Solidify relationship with Sega. Oh, yeah, he did do that. Make the best backwards compatibility possible on consoles and PC, by the way. Delay Starfield to polish it up. Again, fantastic. But one hiccup happens and DCG be like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, what the fuck? Freaking ludicrous. Yeah, he makes like Xbox is in a position where they literally did a cash deal, one of the biggest deals in gaming, and it actually went through. You know, it's in like the final stages going through. We're in like the falling action of it, with the climax being them just like completely shutting down the FTC, and the CMA being set on the table. Like I'm thinking like give it 2 weeks, give it 2 weeks, and the entirety of that deal will be going through. At least from 2 weeks from this video, I should say. I'm probably wrong, and I will happily stand corrected if that's not the case. But I would say within the next 2 to 3 weeks, or month or two, that deal will close, more or less. And this is just this is nothing having to do with the actual topic. I just wanted to go off on a little bit of a rant on this special edition covers and controller for the PlayStation. Special edition. Let me just say, the PlayStation Special Edition for Spider-Man, as someone, again, who is a graphic designer, this is ass. Like, purely and utterly ass. Like, I get it, because I know what the game's about, and it makes sense to me, as someone who knows the integrity of the history of this thing. But it's ass. Like, furiously, very much so, dog shit. And that's not me, like, saying that it doesn't look good. It looks fine for what it is. It just looks like you just took jam or beat your fucking spouse's head in with a PS5 and the controller as well to make sure you got the dog. Because it just looks like you splattered jam on it, and that's it. Like, you could have made this so fucking nicer. Like, how? Let me paint a picture for you. You could still have the black leading into the red, but you could actually make the red look like his suit and also have white stripes that also make it look like his suit. You could also then make it so that way the logo for the main Spider-Man is more centered, like it is on how the controller is. But it can be more centered on the console as well and kind of transform from a more angular and just harder to, like more Venom-y type one than to his normal one as well, and you can have like a stronger line there to really emphasize the control, the actual covers and stuff, and make it look cool. And then people were trying to compare this to the Starfield controller, saying that one is better than the other, and which one's better. A lot of people said that the PS5 one was better. How? How can you look at the PS5 controller and just say that that looks better than the Starfield one, when the Starfield one actually has character to it? It actually, like, it's white. It's a very stark white color. It has very interesting details. The entire controller, like literally the whole controller, is made up in such a way that it would look cool. Like, imagine this. Imagine if Sony decided to really lean into Spider-Man here. The controller for the PS5 already looks like Spider-Man's mask. Like, you don't have to look very hard. Like, you can really make it look nice. You can have one side, like, you can have him be, like, you can have the arms be his eyes. You can then have a red on one side and a black on the other, with another one of those strong defining lines that you can make look all undulating and weird. And you can make it look like the controller itself is also transforming into it, with one side having like sharp teeth underneath it in terms of decals, whereas the other one is more like his actual fucking mask. That would look 10,000 light years better than the controller that Xbox made, or, and even the fucking this controller. Again, it looks like you murdered someone with it. It's so weird, so weird. Anyway, rant over. I think that I'm done with this. Again, I didn't want to go off too much on this, and I wanted to come back more positively because I know that I missed my usual kind of Friday upload schedule and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that I took that time off for me. I know I recover quickly from these sorts of things, and I usually say one thing versus another thing. But I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. You can hear it in my voice. The last video that I did will probably never see the light of day because it was just... I was not in the right headspace to record it. I shouldn't have recorded it, but I made the video anyway. At the end of the day, it's whatever. But if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this entire time. You guys are awesome. Everything that you do is fantastic. I don't care if you just watch the videos and stuff, but if you want to support me in other ways, links down in the description. Patreon, Gumroad, Gumroad, my tipping things, all sorts of links down there. Please go and check me out on other things as well, Twitch and Twitter. I mainly shitpost on Twitter, but it's still a fun place to reach out for me here. And of course, also check the community tab and things like that. Do all the things that every single YouTuber says that you do. In any case, my name is GamePenguin21. God, Twitter sometimes sucks. And a peace off.
Sometimes I just wanna be a